everybody knows that Joseph Mengele was the good guy. I mean, so what? He tortured some people. It was to get answers out of them. Everybody knows you got to do a little something. You know, I guess in all the, you know, people think that movies are reality. So I guess in Delta Force with Chuck Norris, when the bad Muslims drill the guy's kneecap with the drill to get the answers, I guess they're really the good guys. Let's talk about reality. Our airmen in North Korea or our airmen in Vietnam being tortured horribly. So what, man? That's the way it is. You know, that's good. That's an American value. They're just, oh, that's democracy. You understand? The government will torture people throughout history to get false confessions. You're like, the government wouldn't do that. If you think that, you're living on another planet. Look at these articles I have right here. This is your government. In Germany, woman judge ran sex ring that killed boy age 5. Says they ran a bar where children were molested and tortured. London Telegraph, mainstream news. Here's another one. This is Associated Press. FBI recruited and protected violent informants nationwide for decades. Now, I told you about this years ago. In most cities, big cities, the FBI runs the mafia, and they work for the FBI. That's why J. Edgar Hoover said, there is no organized crime. La Cosa Nostra is a conspiracy theory. We all know that to be a total lie today. But at the time, they went, oh, good old J. Edgar says there ain't a problem. They run these people. For decades, in cities from coast to coast, FBI agents recruited killers and crime bosses and informants, and then looked the other way as they continued to commit violent crimes. And then it goes on. In Boston, it now admits the FBI ran the criminals. Notice how they try to set the idea of the article, though. Oh, it's just to stay close to them and have informants. When MI5 and MI6, 4 months ago, got caught blowing up British buildings to blame it on their enemies, they said, okay, we've conducted most of the bombings the last 23 years, but this was so we'd be legitimate to the Protestants and the NRA, so we could infiltrate them as the terrorism accelerated. No, it was an excuse to have military occupation of Northern Ireland and London, in England proper. It's simple. Why did Hitler blow up the Reichstag, his own government building? It's a pretext for control. When are you going to figure this out? So, you know, this is who wants to torture you. You give people authority, you give them secrecy, you give them immunity, you give them a crisis, you will always get a dictatorship. I mean, let's say we had a wonderful president, Bill Clinton, George Bush. They're really nice guys. You can trust them. They're not globalist frontmen. You create this atmosphere. It's a system where thugs will rise to positions of power, where you can have coup d'etats, where you will get a thug. I mean, it's just history. No one can deny this. It's 101 facts. But the liberal professors, the conservative professors, they won't talk to the kids about real issues. It's all some little periphery side issue of little or no significance. Now this, last Thursday, and it's in last Thursday's archive of Infowars.com. Just go to the site, scroll on the bottom, click on last Thursday. They're in February still, and we're now in March. And what was it, February 27th? KXLY, I had the commissioner on. He got a federal document to put Americans in concentration camps and a large concentration camp system for you and your family. And it says concentration camps in the Washington County, Okanagan County. And it says, Okanagan County Commissioner Dave Schultz is convinced his county is designated home for a concentration camp in case of civil unrest. Schultz says he has copies of documents. Okay? Here's another one. This is Rocky Mountain News. Keep showing you this one. There's hundreds of these. But I posted all these again Thursday on the site. State prepares for bioterrorism. Yeah, they'll launch it. Executive orders give government additional powers. The state of Colorado could seize antibiotics, cremate disease-ridden corpses, and dig mass graves under executive orders. Then down here it says, in this article it talks about the crematoriums. And it describes, I need to highlight this. and it describes the crematoriums. What a great system. They say they'll lock down all the cities and won't let you leave them. This is nationwide. If there's one smallpox case anywhere in the Western Hemisphere, you can't catch smallpox unless you touch it. Scientists and epidemiologists have said, I'm not taking that shot. 90+%, it's way over that, of healthcare workers are refusing it. The government's panicking because they plan to launch this, create fear, and their solution is 1,000,000 times worse than smallpox outbreak. So that's the reality of what's going on. But let me give you some more. This is archived at prisonplanet.com, LA Times, 8/14/02, Jonathan Turley, Camps for Citizens, Ashcroft's hellish vision. Attorney General shows himself as a menace to liberty. Attorney General Ashcroft's announced desire for camps for U.S. citizens he deems to be enemy combatants has moved him from merely being a political embarrassment to being a constitutional menace. They had this up on their site for 6 months. It's been put in their archives now, but we saved it if you want to get it. Without going to their archives and having to purchase it. We have it for free at Prison Planet. Camps for Citizens, Ashcroft's hellish vision. But, you know, if that's not enough for you, Newsmax had a 2-part series last year, 9 months ago. And it says FEMA preparing for mass destruction attacks in U.S. cities. And it says the agency plans to create emergency makeshift cities that could house hundreds of thousands. See, the camps were for delousing and your safety. The agency has already notified vendors, contractors, and consultants it needs to prepare and handle the logistics of aiding millions of displaced Americans who flee from urban areas that may be attacked. All you do is wear gloves and a mask. You can't get smallpox. It says, ominously, FEMA has been given the deadline of having the cities ready to go January 2003, in about 6 months. That was a couple months ago. It's done. There's hundreds of these. Camps, forced relocation centers. In Iraq, they admit they're going to have re-education centers for women and children. And our troops have been told to kill women and children that try to flee. And remember, the FBI is now in the military running their operations domestically and overseas. And they're the folks that run the criminal crime rings. And I'm going to say their name again on air. DynCorp lost a suit about 5 months ago. It was in the news about 4 months ago. From Reuters to Soldier of Fortune. It was on a lot of the news wires, a few magazines. DynCorp, they're an employee and a UN employee, sued them for being fired for not being able to blow the whistle as they watched 200,000 women and children at 2